Okay, so we're going to go through Pearson 12.2 really quickly. This is the guided practice and independent practice page. I don't have you guys doing the back page. We're only doing the first one. If you're working under your book, it's 635. If you're doing it online, and I hope you are in the classroom, it looks a little bit different because I put it together in Google Drawings for you guys. So that's going to look a little bit different, but it will have the same problems on it. So I'm just doing it here. Because this is what the original one looks like. Okay, so some of you were in the meeting yesterday when we talked about fractions and decimals, so you probably have a slightly better idea of what we're doing here. But instead of using models today, in grids, we will be using the number line. So the things to remember, of course, on the number line are that greater numbers are farther to the right on the number line. So greater meaning the bigger numbers. Now for this first one, this is probably one of the easiest ones on here. It says locate 45 over 100. So 45 100ths on the number line. Well, if this point on the left is 40 and this point is 50, and you count 5 over from the middle, you can see right here that this is where 45 over 100 would be. So that one's easy enough. Now, let's take a look at this one. They want us to actually draw a number line for this one. So it says, in the long track speed skating competition, Elizabeth won first place, beating the competition by 0.8 seconds. Draw a number line to represent 0.8. Okay, so let's look at this. Now we know on the left that's going to be a 0. That is going to be your hole. And if you've got 0.8, then you know that's going to land right on the 8. So that would be right here, 0.8 or 0.8. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you there. So when they say to draw it out, that's what they're looking for, something just like that. Now over here, we have name the decimal for each point on the number line. These are the points. They are labeled right now, E, F, H, and G. Now, if you look at this one, you see here's the 0, here's 0.5. This is right next to it. This is the one right here. This is right next to it. So what is that going to be if it's sitting right next to it? Well, most of you can look at that and know that's only 1 point over, so it's going to be 0.6. Now, what about for H? We've got a 1.5 here, but this is one to the left. It's one to the left, so it's going to be less, right? Well, 1 before 1.5 would be 1.4. Now, what about the F right here? Okay, so over on this side, we've got 1.3, and we have 1.35 over here. So this one looks a little bit different, right? So if you're going to assume that we're counting, again, in this direction, where the numbers are getting greater, 1.31, 1.32, 1.33, 1.34, and 1.35. Well, this lands right here, so that would make that 1.33. So again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now for number 6, you have the G, which is only 1 behind, 1 to the left. So the numbers are getting smaller, lesser in this direction. 1 to the left of 1.4. Now, same thing here, right? Here's your 1.35. So 1.35 would be then 1.36, 1.37, 1.38, 1.39 would be right there. So you could look at it going in either direction. You could have counted to the right from this one or counted down from this one right here. Okay, so let's take a quick look down at these, at the bottom ones here. Now we're naming the point on the number line for each fraction or decimal. Okay, so for this one here, for number 7, they're telling us we've got 7 and 47 100ths. 7 and 47 100ths. Well, we know, especially based on what we learned yesterday, our 7's our whole number, right? So we know it's going to be 7 point something. Now, if you only have 47 out of 100, 47 out of 100, and we're getting a little hint up here, right? because here's 7.45. Now 7.46, 7.47. That's telling us that this is going to be 7.47, which is also J. Okay, so next one, 8, 7.68. Well, let's figure out where that is. We've got 7.6 right here. M is clearly at 7.61, 7.62, 3, 4, 5. 7.65 is right here. 7.66, 7.67, and 7.68. We'll be right at the N. So you can go ahead and write N there for your answer. Now, what about this one? Now we're back over here. So we have a fraction, but we know it's going to be 7 point something. This time we've got a 51 over 100. So you know that it's going to be 7.51, or the corresponding letter, which, because we already know where 7.50 is, we know is going to be the next one to the right because we're getting into the greater numbers, and that means it's going to be K. Okay, now what about for number 10? 7.61. Well, we can see that right here. We actually already looked at that one before, right? So easy enough. Back to this one again here. You know it's going to be 7 point something. Now, it should already tell you, because you know that denominator is 100, that it's going to be 7.55. Lucky for us, that's already labeled up at the top. So all we have to do is put an L right here. And for number 12, we have 7.41. Well, kind of lucky on that one too, because here's 7.4. 1 over to the right is going to be 7.41. And that means that is an I. And there you go. So that's what that looks like in that section. Now you're doing the same thing here, except this time they have you actually naming the decimal for each of the points that have the letters. So if you're looking up here and we're looking for J as our first one, this is probably one of the easier ones, right? Because we know this is 4.65 right here, which means moving to the right 1, and that's only 1 point to the right where that J is going to be 4.66. Now for 14, we're looking at the K. We've got 4.6 right here. We're moving 2 spaces to the right. And 2 spaces to the right, it's not going to be 7, 8, right? It's going to be 4. And now look at this is our hint right here. 4.65 is here. So you know this is 4.64, 4.63, 4.62. So it looks to me like K is 4.62, because you can look at this one as 4.60. Okay, now 15, we're looking for L. Well, this one's already labeled, right? So that one should probably be the easiest one that we see on there, 4.8. M, well, you can look at it either direction. You could count from this way, from the 4.50. Remember, 4.5 and 4.50 are the same thing. Or go backwards from 4.55. So here's 4.54 and 4.53. So that means that this is 4.53. Might as well finish up these last two here. So we've got N. Now we have a hint right here. This is 4.7, or like I said before, 4.70. We're only counting one back, right? Well, one back would be, what's one less than 70? Means this one is going to be 4.69. Last one here. We've got a hint right here, 4.75. We're only going 1 point to the right, which means it is going to be 4.76. Okay, so the things to remember here. There are a few things I want you to remember on this one. Remember, greater numbers are farther to the right on the number line. So if you're moving to the right, the numbers are going to get greater. If you're moving to the left, they're going to be lesser or smaller. The other thing to remember when you see, we're working with probably what are the easiest of the fractions to convert into decimals here, because we've got 100 as our whole. So anytime you see something like this, 47 over 100, you know that that is going to be 0.47. And that goes for the rest of these as well. So 0.51, 0.55, that type of thing. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be posting some more videos like this as well. But I encourage you to come to our class sessions too, so we can answer any questions you have then. Okay, guys.